Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the class. Today we are going to review the conditional zero, okay? But at the beginning we are going to remember the topic of the last class. Remember, we review the past passive voice. Tell me, students, when do you use it? Okay, we are going to use it when you are going to focus on the action. It means the important thing here is the verb, okay? Can you tell me an example? That's right. The computer was built by a man. Okay? I am using the subject, the verb to be in past form, the verb in past participle built, and my agent by a man. Okay? As I said before, today we are going to review the conditional zero. And what is the objective for today? To reinforce the knowledge through an explanation and some examples. Tell me, students, do you know when do you use it? And do you remember the structure? Okay, today we are going to review that. So pay attention. Here you have an example, okay? If you heat water, the water boils. Okay? We have the same example in another form. The water boils if you heat water. Okay, pay attention here. I am using the word if at the beginning of the sentence, and here I am using in the middle. So we are going to check that, okay? We are going to check those examples, okay? If I am sick, I do not go to the school. Pay attention, I am using my if clause at the beginning of the sentence, okay? And then the main clause. If I am sick, comma, I do not go to the school. Pay attention. If you use the word if at the beginning of the sentence, you have to use a comma. Okay? And we are going to check the second. I do not go to school if I am sick. Pay attention, the conditional clause. In this case, the if is situated in the middle of the sentence. So, my sentence is going to change. We are going to start with the main clause, and then we are going to use the if clause. So, I do not go to the school if I am sick. Okay? When you have the if at the middle of the sentence, you don't need to use a comma. Okay? Because if separates the two sentences. Okay? If you have the if at the beginning, comma. If you have if in the middle, you don't need to use a comma. In this case, I am going to use at the beginning the if clause or the conditional clause, then the main clause. In this case, I am going to use the main clause and then the conditional clause or if clause. Okay, very simple. Pay attention. Here I have another example. If I study hard, my if clause, comma, I get good scores. Okay. Main clause, I get good scores if I study hard. In this case, I don't need to use a comma. And what is the structure? Pay attention. In the first sentence, I am going to use the if clause at the beginning. And you have to use the if, the subject, the verb in present simple, study. Pay attention here. I am going to use the verb in present simple and the complement. Okay? And the main clause, the subject, I, the verb in present simple form, get. Pay attention. In this case, I am using the verb in both parts. In ambas partes, I am going to use the verb in present simple tense and also the subject. Pay attention here. We use conditional zero for things that always happen if something happened first. Instruction and advice. If you are sick, visit a doctor. If the door is closed, call me. Okay? As I said before, we are going to use conditional zero in order to speak general truths, in order to give instructions or advice, or in order to put a condition of that. Okay? In this case, if I study hard, that is my condition. I get good scores. Okay? The only thing that you have to remember is in conditional zero, you are going to use the verb in simple form, okay? Always. In this case, if I am sick, I am is the present form of the verb to be. Do not go. That is the negative form in present simple, okay? We are going to do some exercise in order to practice. Complete the zero conditional sentence with the verb in brackets, okay? Pay attention here. If, that is my subject, go on a boat, I'll always feel sick. So I am going to use the present form of the verb go. What is the present form? That is the same. If I go on a boat, I always feel sick. Pay attention, I am using in present and in present. Okay, we are going to go with the second example. The teacher gets angry if we don't work hard. Yeah, pay attention here, I am using gets with s because of the subject. Remember, in present you are going to add an extra s when your subject is the third person. He, she, it. In this case, the teacher is singular. Okay? And what is the answer in here? Here I am going to use my subject and the negative form. What is the negative form in present simple? Don't. Okay? If we don't work hard. The teacher gets angry if we don't work hard. Pay attention. The negative form is don't or doesn't. In this case, I am using don't because of the subject. We don't work. Okay, we are going to go with the third example. It is easier to sleep if you not be stressed. Yeah, we are going to use the subject you. And what is the negative form of the be? Okay, it is easier to sleep if you aren't or are not stressed. Okay, that is a negative form of the verb to be. Pay attention to the difference. In this case, his mother gets, that is the same, mother singular, annoyed if he be late. In this case, that is in positive. If he, what is the conjugation of the verb to be? If he is. His mother gets annoyed if he is late. So when you have the verb to be in that part, you have to conjugate it. Okay? In this case, that is negative. In this case, that is positive. In this case, that is negative. You are not. He is. And we are going to see the last example. If where I look in my dictionary, I have my subject I and the negative form. So I am going to use that. If I don't work, if I don't know a word, I look in my dictionary. Okay, and that is all for today. Thank you, students. I hope that you have remembered some about that. And I am going to send you some exercise in order to practice. And thank you. Goodbye, students.